So it happened. We finally got a good Dungeons and Dragons movie. Of course, for those who may remember, there was an adaptation of this in 2000 and it was terrible. It's one of those movies actually that you could enjoy for how bad it is. I give it that at least. Now we have this adaptation. Um, and I've never played the game, I'm familiar with it, pop culture, osmosis, and all that, but I've never actually played the game. So I feel like this is one of those movies that you could tell there's a lot of Easter eggs and there's a lot of stuff happening there that only people who play the game are really gonna appreciate, and that's great. For general audiences, I do think they do a good job of keeping things simple enough that you can understand it, but you could also tell there's some world building going on as well. This movie is at its best when they kind of just let the characters do their thing. I mean, we have actors like Chris Pine who can be effortlessly charismatic and goofy at the same time. Michelle Rodriguez, it was so nice to see her do more than just play the stoic badass. Here she's a stoic badass, but she also has a lot of heart. She has some funny scenes, kind of what they call those running gag with potatoes, and most of all, it's nice to see her do something than just be the badass. I feel like she gets to stretch a bit more here. Rene Jean Page, he has this weird characterization. It's almost like Sheldon Cooper. Sheldon Cooper mixed with Drax, mixed with Superman. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Check it out and see it for yourself. Um, the story is simple enough, the premise is simple enough to follow, and I feel like this movie is at its best when when they embrace the madness that is fantasy. All fantasy films, that's when they're at their best, and this movie, that's when it's at its best, when they kind of just go for it. When it stumbles to me is when things get a little quiet, when things kind of stop for the characters to have more somber moments. Sadly, that the tonal shift there, things kind of grind to a halt, and the energy of the film seems to come to a stop. So I wish they would go more for the fantastical. Just kind of keep that rhythm going. Something like the Legend of Vox Machina. If you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. Overall, this was fun. It's not like the best fantasy movie I've ever seen, but I'm sure it's gonna please the fans. And I think mainstream general audiences, if you're looking for a fantasy film to watch, this is a good one.